I see a very skilled, like talented, strong opponent. I see him for everything else that the world sees him as. I mean, yeah, he's been very dominant since he's come into the sport. He's shown everything that he's capable of doing.
You told Joe Rogan something about, a special sweep you've been working on or something. I mean, I don't know if you want to give us more details because obviously, Joe Rogan podcast, small audience.
Yeah.
Here we are, Do you want to maybe tell us a little more? Is that true? Were you being serious about like, hey, I have something that maybe has never been seen before?
I definitely do have something that has never been seen before, ever.
Bem-vindos ao canal Clips MMA. UFC 307, Alex Poatan versus Khalil Rountree. Tá chegando a hora, haja coração e, claro, muito conteúdo aqui para vocês. Vamos conferir a entrevista do Khalil para a ESPN norte-americana, onde ele revela tudo sobre essa luta e o que ele acha sobre o Poatan. Já sabem, se inscrevam no canal para dar aquela força, deixe a opinião de vocês aí nos comentários e bora!
Yeah, when I got the call for this fight specifically, I mean, it was like a phone call from God. It was just like, it came at the right time. It came at a very unexpected time, but I was prepared for it. I've been preparing for this.
Where were you and what were you doing when you did actually get that phone call?
I was actually in the middle of a legal mediation with the company that I was working with. So yeah, in that moment, I'm in one room with my attorney and they're in another room with their attorney, and there's a mediator kind of going back and forth like, guys, how are we going to figure out this situation? How are we going to, end this, in this madness? And it wasn't going too well. And I was just like so defeated. And then my phone rings and like, of course, the UFC. Hello, what's up, guys? Hey, how's your day going? Terrible. What's up? Well, got good news. You're gonna fight Alex on October 5th, and I look over, I'm like, this is not true. So it happened, yeah, in the middle of a legal mediation.
I'd imagine you were a bit emotional.
Very. I didn't even know that it was real. Like, it didn't really settle. Hours later, I'm like, there's no way. Maybe they're working on it, but I'm sure they're gonna call and say like, this guy says, no, and whatever other politics. But a couple hours later, I get another phone call from one of the matchmakers, and he's just like, hey man, just wanted to say congratulations. I know how much you wanted this. I know how hard you've been working on. So just wanted to say like, congrats and, get to work. And at that moment, I thought like, okay, yeah, this is real. Everything that I've been working for is now here, and I'm prepared.
Not just a title shot, not one you've worked for, but one against a guy that is arguably one of the biggest superstars in the UFC right now, a dominant champion at 205. So should you win the belt, man, there's just so many positives that come out of this. Alex Pereira, UFC 307. When you look at him and what he has done thus far in the octagon, he hasn't been in the UFC that long, but he's had a dominant reign. What do you see in him as an opponent?
I see a very skilled, like talented, strong opponent. I see him for everything else that the world sees him as. I mean, yeah, he's been very dominant since he's come into the sport. He's shown everything that he's capable of doing. He's beat the best of the best, Izzy and, Strickland, and, so it's like this guy's a tough opponent. But I also see inspiration. Like when I look at this fight, when I see everything that he's been able to accomplish, this fight and this matchup, it excites me. It's an exciting thing, and I think it's because of everything that he's been able to do and everything that he will continue to do. I think the guy's very skilled.
You have this little smile as you're answering about him. And I'm just so curious because to me that means something else is going through your mind that maybe you don't want to say in this interview, which is fine.
No, I think that the smile comes from like genuine like happiness. That's it. Like, I'm happy to fight this guy. Like that's where the smile comes from.
You should be very happy to fight him because all your dreams have led to this opportunity for the belt.
Yeah.
What makes you different than anyone Alex has faced?
Wow. It's a little bit difficult for me to say this, but I'm going to do this because I should. What makes me different is my overall ability. Compared to the guys that he's fought, I feel like my strength and my athletic ability and my discipline, my skills, my experience, I think that like all of that kind of plays into me and my style. And I don't think that there's been a fighter that is as like put together as I am and feel now. I've been through a lot and I've spent my whole career in the UFC, and this is the first time that like I can fully back myself. I don't have to talk. I don't have to, yap, and sometimes it's uncomfortable for me to say like I feel amazing and like I am 100%, I have belief in myself, and I don't know who can present the same the same stuff that I have right now. Like it's just, I don't know. There's just something that I feel in myself right now, and this like belief and this all the work and the skills that I'm putting in right now that just really bring the surprise.
It seems like that belief has also led to a peace mentally, emotionally, as you enter what is probably going to be the most hectic chapter of your fighting life yet. How does that also give you an advantage as we head into the fight, as we head into fight week and fight night, to know that you believe in yourself, but you're also calm and peaceful about that?
When I think about like, how does it give me an advantage? I can't say like how it will give me an advantage over him, but how it is beneficial to me in my life right now is that I have nothing to be afraid of. I have nothing to be sad about. I have nothing to be angry about. Like, this is the moment and the time that I've been working for. So I think for me, like, the advantage is like I just really get to soak this in, like I just get to enjoy all of this. I get to enjoy it all. I get to, look back at the road that I took to get here and appreciate it. And so I don't know if it gives me the advantage in the fight and if that makes me any, better or not, but all I know is that this is the coolest moment in my life and no one can take that from me.
Listen, we cannot wait for this matchup. For those of us who will be on the outside of this, there are so many questions, there's so many differing opinions, a lot of which from the experts in the field are very positive for you. I'm curious just what your thoughts are on a straight kickboxing matchup here with Alex. We see that's often where he gets things done inside the octagon. I mean, for you, what does it look like? We see you two go toe-to-toe kickboxing. What do we got?
I'm gonna say what it looks like from the other side of the screen. So like if I were looking through a screen at the people watching, everyone's on the edge of their seats. Everyone is waiting for what's gonna happen. They're gonna see two of, the most skilled strikers in light heavyweight division right now, like fighting for everything. I mean, even his story, right? So there's so many, like there's so much to this fight, not only skills, but it's like just who we are as people and how we've gotten to this point. So I just see it as an amazing striking match that every UFC fan that loves just like a banger of a fight is going to appreciate regardless of the outcome.
Salt Lake City is in for such a treat, as are, of course, everyone who will be watching at home. I've got to ask you before we wrap up the fight chat, you told Joe Rogan something about, a special sweep you've been working on or something. I mean, I don't know if you want to give us more details because obviously, Joe Rogan podcast, small audience. Yeah. Here we are, Do you want to maybe tell us a little more? Is that true? Were you being serious about like, hey, I have something that maybe has never been seen before?
I definitely do have something that has never been seen before, ever. when I was talking to Joe and I told him that, like, yeah, I have plans to do this hopefully in my next fight, at that time I didn't know that I'd be fighting Alex. I was still like, I don't know when I'm going to fight. I don't know who I'm going to fight next. There are guys in the division that I can see it working on 100%. There could be a possibility of this happening, you know, of this move, this technique happening. There could be, yeah. I mean, like, it's definitely possible. Am I hunting for it? No. If it presents itself, everyone will know, like, oh, that's it. Like, that's what he was talking about.
I love it. And I also lied to you. I have one more question here.
Okay.
Are you going into this fight with Alex with a specific game plan? Are you going in it where see what is given to us, or this is exactly how we're going to approach it? Like, what will be your thought process, you know, in October at UFC 307 for this main event?
I 100% have a game plan. 100%. For me to go into this fight and not have a game plan would not be smart at all. So yes, I do have a game plan. I do have things that I am working on specifically in hopes that, you know, it provides the #1 outcome, which is me winning and getting the belt. So yeah, sticking to the plan. I don't plan to freestyle this fight at all.